Hello.
Hello.
Sorry about that, everybody. Funny.
Shoot.
Yeah. One of those nights. It's one of those nights.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm going to wait for a couple more people. It looks like there's one person watching it. It could be me. I don't know. I sent it out.
Okay.
That's funny. Oh, Kyle's watching. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
So we had a little flub.
Techno diff. Techno diff.
Had a little flub. All right, go back. Share now. I shared it. Anybody else watching?
Hello, people.
Say hi in the comments. So this will probably most likely be a shorter. I know, I see you, Kyle.
I see you.
Your dad might not even be home from work yet. Yeah, so this might be a little shorter episode today because it's just a shorter one. That's all. I just got home from work not even 20 minutes ago. So I'm still in my work clothes. No makeup on. We're good. Anywho.
I never wear makeup, just for the record.
I usually put a little lipstick on because, I mean, my glasses, I feel like hide my eyes anyways. But, yeah. So say hi in the comments so we know you're watching because I don't always see who's watching if I'm because I'm only seeing from RU Media Network. So if you're on Things or YouTube, say hi so we can shout you out. You only said it once. What, me? But tonight we're talking about David Parker Ray. He's the toy box killer.
He's crazy.
Yeah. He's a little. Hi, Wild Bill. So we have he was born in November of 1939 and he died in 2002. So he's more
in prison.
3, you know. But he was an American kidnapper, torturer, serial rapist, and suspected serial killer. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Darren.
I'm so happy your first weekend went well at the jail. So that's cool. Greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Is it warm there?
I know it's warm because it's cold up in here.
It really is. It's kind of chilly.
It's raining here, so it's cold and wet and raining.
It's been raining for like 3 days.
Yeah. I know somebody asked me today, they're like, do you like when it rains? I said, depends on the day. Like today, no, it's cold outside. I don't like it. If it's thunderstorming, yes, I like thunderstorms. Used to not, but today's cold. I don't like cold and wet together. That's why I don't like winter. Although I need winter to kill all the bugs. So
I like cold just because I get hot flashes. As you can see, I'm fanning myself. I get hot flashes, so cold is my friend.
Yeah, I'm there, but not there yet. So
I'm totally there.
But anyway, so yes. David Parker Ray, he talked about killing these women, but no bodies were actually found. So that's why they say he's like a suspected serial killer. He stays inside.
I don't blame you at all.
75 is good weather though. As long as there's sun in 75, we're good. Anyways, he's from New Mexico, so he's suspected of killing around 60 people from Arizona, New Mexico, and he's from Elephant Butte or Butte, however you say it. I mean, there's an E at the end of it. There is Butte, so I'm gonna say Butte.
Okay.
An elephant butt sounds funny.
We'll just call it elephant butt.
He was living in an elephant butt. Hi, Eddie Pence. Hi,
Eddie.
I mean, what would you? I mean, I'm just saying. It says elephant butt.
I hear you.
Yes, Taryn. Elephant butt.
Exactly. That's what I'm
It says
saying.
elephant butte. I'm gonna say it's butt.
Boutte. It's boutte.
Booty.
Maybe it's French.
Maybe.
Hey, it's our show. We'll call it what we want.
Yeah, right. So when he was 7 miles from Truth or Consequence.
Clearwater, Florida. Oh my gosh. I've heard that is so beautiful.
In New Mexico, there's Elephant Butte and Truth and Consequences. Those are the cities.
Can't make this up, folks.
Can't make this up, folks. So he was convicted of kidnapping and torture. They really couldn't, prove that he was a serial killer, even though he talked about it. They just never found it. So let's talk about how he actually got started doing this. As a young man, he lived with his grandparents because of the financial situation and hardship. Him and his younger sister, and her name was what was her name? Peggy Pearl Ray. So we have David Parker and Peggy Pearl. And so they lived with their very disciplinarian. I can't say that real fast.
Disciplinarian.
Thank you. Grandparents. Russell and Dolly. And his father was an alcoholic. So again, alcohol is involved in his childhood. And his father was really a sick man as well. He basically, at a very young age, would show his son magazines depicting of sadomasochistic pornography.
Nice.
I can't say these big words today. It was a crazy day at work, and I am not about to sit here.
Her vocabulary is limited today, folks.
I'm hungry. I'm tired. Yeah. So basically, at a very young age, his dad was showing him porno, very like BDSM type crap, and so. Which I think being shown that at a young age and seeing those images, it made him into a very shy person around females. Like he didn't know, and he would get bullied for it. So being shy around females, he would get bullied at school, which led him to drinking and doing drugs. So at a young age, he started drinking, started doing drugs. And by the time he was 14, is when he started having fantasies about raping girls, torturing, and even murdering them. So, and his younger sister Peggy, actually found some of drawings that he did, and he did what he saw in these magazines. He drew what he saw in these magazines, what his fantasies were. He drew them out. His sister found them, and she was like, I don't want anything about that. Like he was into the bondage and all that, which made his sister and him have a estranged relationship. So she didn't want anything to do with her brother after that. And she was younger than him. So, you kind of got to think at a young age when you don't want to be, associated with your sibling, you got to have some pretty awful drawings there. Yeah, exactly. No bodies, no proof. He didn't do it.
I actually have a shirt that says, no DNA, it never happened. I got it at CrimeCon like several years ago.
Yeah. But he, and authorities believe that he started assaulting these women at a very young age in early adolescence. He actually, one of the messages that he recorded around July 23rd of 1993, he proclaimed that he had been raping bitches ever since he was old enough to jerk off and tie little girls' hands behind their backs. So
nice guy.
Yeah. Not cool. Pretty much is probably what he was saying to these people. Who knows? Um, and he even alleged to his first wife that he committed his first homicide somewhere around 1957. So he was early 20s. And he kidnapped a woman, tied her to a tree, tortured and murdered her. However, authorities didn't find any evidence of that account. Obviously, if he murdered her on the tree, he either did a pretty good job of hiding her body or it didn't happen. And I don't know what I can't say what true crime stuff was like back in the 90s because I myself was a teenager then. But I know nowadays they have certain machines that can almost do like x-rays through the ground and I forget what the technology is called. But
well, you have to remember that the 90s was the evolvement of DNA.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's where we were technology wise. I don't know about having any of that kind of big equipment back
That's
then,
what I'm
but
saying. I
they
don't
did
know.
start doing the DNA at that time.
Right. But if there was no DNA, I mean, you got to think 57 to 95, 93, around that time, that's a 20-year span. That
Right.
DNA that was around that tree, whatever, could have been washed away in storms, dirt, weather, who knows? I don't know how long DNA stays around on tree, objects like that.
I don't either. I mean, I guess it would depend on the weather circumstances.
Right.
And whether you can preserve it.
A litter? I'm not sure what that is. I just know there's a machine now that they can actually run along the ground and it almost looks like it can identify bodies in the ground. So, but yeah, so he was basically, he finished high school. After he went into high school, he went in the U.S. Army and received an honorable discharge. Shocking.
It is shocking, actually.
And he learned how to be a general mechanic then in the Army. After the Army, he was a maintenance man for the New Mexico Parks Department in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. I just think these are funny names. And then
I just found a thing on that. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, okay, then that's kind of what I'm talking about. Thanks, Wild Bill.
Here's what is it, a LiDAR or LiDAR? So it's like an X-ray type machine.
Right.
Yeah. That's what these are. Different.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's neat. So yeah. So anyway, he ended up meeting 37-year-old Cindy Hendy, who worked at the state park, and she became his girlfriend. She basically became an accomplice to his crimes too. She was
LiDAR. Okay.
LiDAR. Okay.
Good to know.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And so basically, she also had some criminal record. She had grand theft auto, drug charges in the state of Washington. But she became romantically involved with Ray and bonded over their shared violent sexual fantasies. So he had these fantasies, she had these fantasies. So I guess they were made up to be a pair in hell, I guess. I don't know. I don't want to see a match made in heaven, but match made in hell. But yeah, so
toxic. Toxic.
Yeah, they're both toxic people. So she had these fantasies too. They became very involved. But So basically, when he did have his victims in his toy box, and I will talk about his toy box in a minute, he basically would tell his victims that they would have to sexually service her as well. So not only were they doing things to him, but they were doing things to her as well. He did have a daughter that was helping as well. It didn't say anything about her being involved sexually, but she would bring him the girls. So she was like,
She was actually charged with sexual penetration.
oh, okay. So she was involved. So that's
She was getting the girls for him, and she was in the room while it was happening. When he would kidnap these girls, he would actually play a recording, and the recording was quite long, but I do have a snippet of it that I found here.
I'm sure that it goes without saying.
Does it?
We will not be given any opportunity to escape.
You can, yeah, there you go.
It's going to be kept locked around your neck all the time that you're here. Even if you did manage to get your hands and feet loose, there's no way in hell you'd get a chain over your head.
Chained.
Isn't that crazy? That's just part of what he would play. But he would tell them that they are there to service him. They're his sex slaves now. That there's no way that they're going to be able to escape. And it really depends on them whether they live or not. I mean, could you imagine being kidnapped, waking up and hearing this recording playing for you, and you being called nasty, horrific names in the process, and you don't even know who this person is?
So basically, on his property in Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. It's such a weird name too. I mean, it's just so ironic that
very bizarre.
What he did is in a city of called Truth or Consequences. Hi Mort, how are you? Glad you're watching. But the toy box, he had this makeshift trailer on his property, and he called it the toy box. And the reason he called it the toy box is because it looked like this. So, and then here's a little better picture. And you can see in this picture, he has things that are, that can harness the girls. There's a table with straps on it. So there's a lot of bondage, so he would tie them up and strap them and just assault them and abuse them for days. All while they were drugged too. So,
and while he recorded the whole thing, he would video record the entire thing, and he had tapes and tapes of these recordings. And
right,
him and his wife or girlfriend and daughter would go to bars, and he was even having his daughter bring him some of her friends.
Yeah.
Things like that to get these women, and then he would just drug them, play them this tape. So a lot of them didn't even know what had happened. When they were done, some of them he released and he let go out in, the one girl,
like 3 to 4 months at a time.
Yeah. And the one girl that he let go, he let her out in the park, and he was working the park at that time. And he actually found her, asked her if she was okay, and got her help when it was all him to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Yeah. So some of the torture devices that he used were like whips, chains, pulleys, straps, clamps, leg spreader bars, surgical blades, electrical shock machines, and saws. I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know. I don't want to know. I don't even want to ask that question because I don't want to know. No. So he would like I said, like we said, he would terrorize these women, and he would do it all in his toy box. He would have sex toys, syringes, all that stuff to get them. He was believed to spend over $1,000 on a trailer fitting it with sex toys and torture devices. So, where did he get that money from?
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know
good
if you make
job.
that kind of money on working as a maintenance man.
For the parks. Oh yeah, that's a
Can
good.
you?
That's yeah. I mean, I don't know 100%, but I know that working for parks and recreations and stuff, they make good money doing that.
Yeah, we're not going down that rabbit hole for a while.
No, no, we aren't. We're gonna just
Yeah,
leave
yep,
it
we're gonna leave that because I'm not.
alone.
I don't even want to know. We don't want to know.
We don't.
So again, yeah, he had. They had videotapes because he would tape them. So turn my page. Oh, you're still driving home? Well, be careful. I need you this weekend.
Yep, good to know, Bill. Wild Bill. Good to know.
I know. I don't want to ask, though. I'm good.
No asking.
No, I'm good.
Mm.
So yeah, so he would actually drug them with again hypnotic drugs to keep them like loopy, feeling loopy and not sure where they're at. So again, they're not sure of how many victims he actually had. They just know the ones that he had on video. And they actually, how they found out about him was the very last victim that he had. She was chained up. He had left to go to work, and Cindy Henny, Hendy, she left the keys to the handcuffs close to a table, and she was able to get to the keys. She started to try to get loose when she ended up fighting with Hendy, and Hendy hit her over the head with a bottle. But she still fought through. She got loose, and she actually stabbed Hendy in the neck with a ice pick, and then she was able to run. Basically, she had nothing but the neck chains on. So they were iron chains that she ran outside, ran down a street.
She was naked too, wasn't she?
Yeah, she had nothing but the chains on. So she was butt naked. And she was a neighbor heard her cries for help, got her into the house, comforted her, and then called the police. When they got to his trailer, his home and trailer, is when they saw everything, found the videotapes, and then they were looking actually for the girls that were on the videotapes because that's the only evidence they had of the other victims. Because like they said he killed all these women, but there were no bodies found. There was no DNA. So they could only go with the ones that were on the tape. So
yeah, so then they started out of those tapes, they started getting pictures of tattoos and things like that they could publicize. And so women could be found and come forward, and that's how some of the women came forward to say that that was them. They had no idea that they had even gone through it, been recorded, any of that.
Right. Well, it's nice to meet you, Wild Bill. Thank you for viewing our videos for
our weird stuff. We appreciate you.
So one of his victims was Billy Ray Bowers, who was 53, disappeared from Phoenix, Arizona. That was one of his, and it says while incarcerated, Hendy stated that Ray told her he had killed Bowers and dumped his body in Elephant Butt River. So
interesting.
But of course, they didn't find anybody in the river. Then there was 22-year-old Jill Suzanne Troya. was last seen in Frontier Restaurant, which is in Albuquerque, during 1995. She had gone to bars with her friends, then went with her girlfriend, Glenda Jean Jesse, which is his daughter, and she disappeared. So basically, his daughter took her to his home, his toy box, and made her a victim. And they do, apparently, he did write about his victims. He detailed the counts out. What he did to them, how he tortured them, and then if he murdered them or let them go.
But he never identifies where he buried the bodies.
No.
He tells everything but that in his journals.
Yep. So there was Sylvia Marie Parker, who was a 22-year-old homeless girl living on the shores of Elephant Butt Lake. I'm sorry, but these names are going to kill me.
That's right. No bodies, no proof.
So
Unless
again,
you record it.
So again, it was acquaintance of the daughter who supplied the methamphetamine and cocaine. So again, more drugs. And took her to her dad's, tortured that one. And he had some playmates too, I guess, is what he would call them. Parker's boyfriend. So I guess his daughter had a boyfriend and he joined in here and there. So he was called a playmate. Someone for the girls to play with here and there. It was gross. Several gross. And it says that for a few days he was tortured. Yancey was tortured, strangled to death under the orders by Ray, and they disposed her body. But when the police went to go find the body, it had been moved, I guess. So again, no body, no evidence. But yeah, so those are some of his victims. I guess there was more apparently that he wrote about, but never really found other than those few that were on the videotapes. So
the FBI believes that he's involved in about 60 murders. 60 rapes, tortures, murders. So it may not all be murders, but his criminal activity goes pretty far.
Yep. So Cynthia Vigil was the last one, the one that got away. So that was her name. The one that got him caught by the police, and all that stuff. So here's the kicker. So because there was no bodies found, he couldn't be charged with murder at all. So he was charged to 244 years in prison. And he was sentenced in 2001. So not long ago. Okay, 20 some years ago, but that's still not long ago. Not in my eyes. 20 years
Just
ago.
around the corner.
To me, 20 years ago was still 1980.
Right.
Because I don't feel my age most of the time. My mind says I'm 21 still. But anyways, he was sentenced to 224 years. And he actually accepted a plea deal because he didn't want his daughter to go to jail for her crimes, her portion or her partake in all of this. So he basically, he wanted a leniency for his daughter. So he confessed. And so he got 224 years. His daughter, Jessie Ray, she got sentenced to receive 30-month sentence with additional 5 years to be served on probation. So basically, she got out of jail in 2019. So just a couple years ago. Yep. But funny story with him, chicken. He got a cop out. He died of a heart attack. After before he was convicted. So actually, before he could serve his time, he died of a heart attack. Isn't that terrible?
Isn't that how it goes?
That's terrible. What a cop out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was.
Yeah, the things that he did to these women was just unbelievably unreal. And he continued. He was able to do it for years and years and years and years.
Yeah,
Crazy.
probably karma. Definitely karma, but I don't know. Sometimes you just want these people to go to jail and suffer just as much as their victims did.
Truth. That is
You
true.
do. Like Nasser, we should probably do that guy. Even though he's not a serial killer, that guy's crazy. And
Consent.
you know who I'm talking about, right?
What?
You
No.
know who Nasser is? So he was a doctor for like the world of gymnastics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a messed up one.
That's a very messed up one. Actually,
nobody even died in that one, and it's super messed up.
I know. Yeah, we actually know some of the victims, so that's kind of anywho. Yeah. I mean, there was no consent whatsoever. But he just, it kind of sucks that he, died of a heart attack before he could even, serve any time. But his other, Henny did serve, his daughter did serve. So they're and they're still alive too. So yes. Yeah. Yep. He was a former sports medicine doctor and it was terrible. I watched that whole trial too.
I didn't. Not that one.
I did. I had it on my phone and had my headphones in while I did my work at work. But I had a daughter in gymnastics, so
I'm also wondering why it took girls so long to come forward, though. Yeah, we should definitely do that one next year.
Yeah. So with that being said, we only have 2 episodes left. We are going to the end of October, and then we're going to take 2 months off for the holiday seasons because, November and December can be crazy, especially for me. I don't like that time of year. But we'll be back in January after October with all new episodes, new content. It'll still be the same serial killers, fairy tales, as much as we can do on fairy tale. And
if you haven't seen our new intro, you should. So when later on, go back and rewatch this so you can see our intro.
Yeah, we have an intro. We're getting fancy now, people.
We're getting super fancy.
We're getting
fancy.
fancy.
I'm going to tweak it and make it better for our new season.
We're going to learn some technology while we're off.
I don't need to learn. I know technology. It's my job. I'll help you, Holly. I will help you.
It's me. I need to learn because I flubbed up if you didn't see us in the beginning, I kind of flubbed and I was like, why can't I find us on your RU Media? And then realized I clicked on the wrong place to post it. So yeah, we had to end that stream after 2 minutes and then start all over. So haha. So yeah, we it'll be better. We're gonna learn some stuff, have more time to learn some new serial killers because there's a ton of them. There's lot.
Too many, unfortunately.
Too many. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse,
And if you have any ideas out there of things that you would like to see, you can message us and let us know so we can research it and make a show out of it because we want to do stuff that make you interested in coming back. So.
Absolutely. So we're going to end this show. We did say we're probably going to end it a little early. So we're gonna end it right now. We've been almost 45 minutes, so hey, longer than I thought. Thanks, Wild Bill, for
Thanks,
joining
Wild
us.
Bill.
We appreciate all
Hope to
your
see you next
commentary. And that's what we like. We like people to join in the chats as well. So always ask questions. Share some of your details because we know you guys like this stuff too. So we wouldn't be doing it if there wasn't an audience for it. So yeah, we love when people interact with us too. So but we will see you in 2 weeks, which the date will be October 12th, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll let you know then who we're going to talk about a couple days. Just keep watching for it because we didn't figure it out yet. Literally, I got home and
people like a surprise.
We didn't really get to talk before the show and go, who are we gonna do next? Like it was really like last minute for me today because I had to be a mom today after work. So, but you guys have a great night. We'll see you in 2 weeks, same time, same channels. And you all have a great weekend and have a great night. Talk to you later. Bye.
Peace.
Oh, well, John, you're late. We're leaving. But it was nice that you could pop in at the very last second.
You have to go back and watch it. But I have your books on display. I have all your books.
I know. But hey, John, wait, before we leave real quick, are you going to be at MadCon? Please tell me you are, because I'll bring my books so you can sign them. I still have to order the third one, though. I just want to know.
I'll let you borrow mine if you want to get
it. He's going to be there. I got to make sure I take my books so he can sign them.
All right, I'll have to give you mine.
We will see you at MadCon, John. And we'll see anybody that's going to be there. We'll see you there on Saturday. You guys have a great night. Bye.
Peace.